Happy International Women's Day to all of St. Lucia. International Women's Day is indeed a celebration for all. For women primarily, but for all people as well. Because a woman never stands alone. She represents her family, she represents a community and a nation. Celebrating women is therefore a national endeavor because we all are touched by at least one woman in our life. A mother, a wife, a daughter, a friend, a teacher, a colleague, a community activist, a political activist, a church member. We can all point to at least one woman who has served as a guide, a motivator, advocate, or as a pillar of support to each and every one of us. We are therefore all in celebratory mode on the occasion of International Women's Day. This year's theme, Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. This theme underscores the recognition that to accelerate progress in gender equality, greater investment in women must be a priority. We're only 6 years away from the 2030 goal to achieve gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls. No nation on earth can yet boast of having achieved this sustainable development goal. Hence, this year's priority theme for the 68th session of the Commission of the Status of Women, accelerating the achievement of gender equality and the empowerment of all women and girls by addressing poverty and strengthening institutions and financing with a gender perspective. The government of St. Lucia considers poverty alleviation as a priority in its people-first political agenda. We have stressed that our greatest asset is our people. All people, men, women, boys and girls. No group must be left behind in our pursuit of national development. We must all progress together if we'll progress at all. That is why this year's International Women's Day theme is so timely, calling on nations, calling on governments, communities, the private sector, and civil society to put their money where their mouth is to speed up progress. Over the years, there has been a lot of talk on our commitment to gender equality and women's empowerment. But if we are to progress, we must get past the talk and get down to action, fixing what needs to be fixed, breaking down institutional barriers that impede progress and building new institutional mechanisms that create the enabling environment for true progress to take root. Poverty rates among women of working age continue to be far too high in St. Lucia. These rates will drop only if we tackle head-on structural factors such as unemployment and underemployment due to the overburden or unpaid care of children, the elderly, and persons with disabilities on working-age women. Access to finance for vulnerable groups, including women in the informal sector and those in micro and small businesses, and the harmful gender stereotypes that cause so many women to raise children on their own, with little or no support from their male counterparts. All of these imperatives require direct investment. The government of St. Lucia has set the example in the past 2.5 years by putting our money where our mouth is through various examples of innovative financing. The MSME loan grants and the youth economy, both launched last year, respond to the reality of young, micro and small business owners and persons interested in entrepreneurship for easier access to capacity for access to finance. The passage of the security interest in movable property legislation last year presents further opportunities for micro and small business owners to use other forms of collateral to access finance. Finally, the removal of VAT on sanitary napkins validates the economic challenges women face, and having understood these challenges, we have shown our commitment through direct and deliberate intervention measures to alleviate some of these challenges. Only 2 weeks ago, we celebrated 45 years of independence as a nation that focused on moving forward together as a people. In our small island state, the government cannot act alone in our national development efforts. We have always and will continue to rely on national development partners, both internally and externally. We recognize the invaluable contributions of United Nations entities, Organization of American States, the World Bank, Caribbean Development Bank, and friendly governments such as Government of China, Taiwan, the Government of Canada, and the Government of France, who continue to support women's empowerment initiatives. We acknowledge and applaud the private sector who support public and civil society organizations to implement gender equality and women's empowerment initiatives, and the civil society organization who work tirelessly accessing funding and opportunities for such initiatives. There is still so much more to do. The reflection on investment in women is a further call to action for all partners to respond to our race towards gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls to increase investment for the breaking down of structural barriers that keep vulnerable populations below the poverty line and reinforce inequality. I therefore call on all society to rally together to celebrate the progress of women and commit to going the extra mile to ensure that our ideas meet the resource to make it happen. Remember, we only progress when we all progress. God bless you, and do have a wonderful International Women's Day.